Hey, this is Tarence Lauchié, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in to this podcast, The Growth Exchange. This podcast was designed to curate conversation, dialogue, and monologue around all things growth. I believe that everything living has the potential to grow into its fullest and most maximal potential. So let's grow. Greetings and welcome to this special edition of the Growth Exchange podcast. I'm Dr. Tarence Lauchié. Today, I've got a level of excitement that's through the roof because of these three gentlemen that's present, and one in spirit who's not with us. We'll talk about him, but he'll be here after this is all said and done. I just want to bait you for this discussion. What would it take to get three dynamic influencers, men who are movers and shakers, who've all experienced some form of challenge, but yet also celebrate a level of success into one room to share inspiration, to share knowledge, and perhaps even some tips for overcoming those challenges, becoming successful African-American men? Well, I'm honored today to have to my left the Ashanti Bryant, who is not a stranger to the Growth Exchange podcast. He was in one of the earlier episodes. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
And to my right, the Jon Covington. You're going to hear a whole lot about Jon Covington in these next few weeks, but specifically today we're going to talk about a project that he is launching, and then of course the magnanimous chef, or Chef Magnanimous, and that's none other than Dr. Jason McGhee. Hey. He's been with us as well, and we had fun. Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, our conversations, and we're trying to be contained right now. And I do have to say to those who are visualizing this, not just those who are listening, this man is sitting here in a big, bright, polka dot tie. This man's got a bow tie, and we just got on regular clothes, right? We got bow tie, no tie, and show tie.
That's the way it is. Right, the diversity of brothers.
Can I say something before we get started?
You can say a whole lot. I do want to open up the dialogue. Let's talk.
You are so good.
Oh, wow.
I'm sitting here, isn't he? I'm watching you in the open. There is no teleprompter. Yeah. There are no cue cards. You're just, oh my God.
I would get stuck on a teleprompter. I'd be reading like this.
He is good. I remember the first time I was on your radio show.
Yeah.
And I told you, I was like, you are good.
Thank you, Jon. Coming from you, that's really a great compliment, because you've actually pretty much have spanned the globe with your work in entertainment and media, both radio, television, and a film. We're going to talk a little bit about your film.
Yeah.
The film is Black Man.
Black Man.
Black Man. We can start there, but we can also talk a little bit about last year's F3 Symposium. For those who may not know, last year, these two gentlemen were very influential in helping to give birth and to curate a summit of sorts, of a symposium called F3, Fathers, Faith, and Freedom. And we shared dialogue, panel discussion, and I got to share some of my doctoral research on self-efficacy and the impact of fatherlessness on adult African-American males. We're going to do a similar symposium this year. You all are going to be a part of it. And then we also have the privilege of being able to incorporate the film, The Black Man. So where do you want to start? I don't know. Ashanti, you got the largest personality in this group. So.
Well, I just want to affirm the brilliance of Dr. Tarence Lauchié and the Growth Podcast. I mean, Dr. Tarence Lauchié, you are a gem in this city. And so we just appreciate just sharing breath and air and space with you, right? Okay. It's a big deal, man. So I'm just honored to be here. But I think second annual F3 Symposium I'm just really excited to be able to participate this year. Last year, I think approximately 70 men, and multiracial.
Yeah.
And not all of them men of faith necessarily.
Correct.
But men coming into the room to have a conversation.
And boys, men and boys.
And men and boys, that's right.
Yeah,
there were sons and and boys in the room as well.
Yep. And it was multi-generational as well.
Thank you very much.
Right, so that was a big piece that stood out to me.
That's right, Dr. Jason. That's right. And so it was a powerful half-day gathering the Saturday before Father's Day in 2025. I think it catalyzed new relationships. I mean, you sharing your research really, I mean, it begins to elevate some new narratives, right, around Black fatherhood.
And it also gave impetus to many of these other resources. We've got some greats that we were talking about off the air that's doing things relating to empowering Black men specifically who've experienced fatherlessness, the Dope Dads, the Delta Project. There were some others that you mentioned.
Yeah, we talked about just the different organizations that are just around Michigan, not necessarily in the room at the time.
Sure.
This year, next year, we'll get them in the room. Involve Dad out in Flint, and then over on in Muskegon, we had the Man Cave. So there are so many organizations, and what was powerful about F3 last year, big
Right.
up, right?
Shout out.
Big up,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But what was fascinating about F3 is that all these organizations exist in their communities, and we were bringing them all together under this consortium-like event, right?
Yeah.
So that was really powerful.
Yeah.
And I think
the main thing is that
did
I didn't think we were trying to reinvent the wheel or do something in comparison or in competition to whatever's already going on. It's going to be the day before Father's Day again, but we're also blessed to have the element of the film. We can integrate that conversation as well, because this whole dialogue right now isn't new, but it's also gaining momentum. It's really gaining momentum nationally, and all of my, pop-ups on my social media has to do with men and these types of dialogues and conversations. I want to ask you guys, and we can integrate the film into this. Where do you stand on your influence and this subject? And when I say your influence, you're a bona fide PhD doctor. You also serve as an entrepreneur. You've been in the education arena for how many years did you serve as principal?
Man, 23 years.
23 years. Yeah. So you've got some.
Started when he was 12.
And been going strong ever since, right?
Right.
He's graduated,
Look at
right?
him, yeah.
It's the bow tie. It opens doors.
Yeah.
But think for a moment about how you have been an influence to young men who have been faced with those challenges, or even adult men who is trying to father their children. Your influence, your impact, how does it relate to this subject?
Yeah, so, it definitely started, it was very much enhanced being in the schools.
Yeah.
When you're in the schools, particularly in elementary school. When I was an elementary school principal, I was one of the few men, let alone being a black man in the building.
Right.
And the way that those boys looked at me, the way those girls just looked at me, my presence alone changed narratives.
Totally.
And so how do you move away from that energy? How do you transcend
You can't walk
that
away,
energy?
right?
So it started there, and you notice that your purpose is huge. But if I take it a step further back, when I was a kid, one of the things I wanted to be when I grew up was a dad. I just wanted to be a dad.
Wow.
That's what I wanted to be. Ask my
Interesting.
wife; she'll tell you to this day that I wanted to be a dad
She's
when I grew up.
Hi, my name is Jason. I want to father your children. Is that how you did it?
Not quite.
He has a blessed family.
people.
Just a shout out
Exactly.
to Dr. Kania. So,
Yeah. It lived there, right?
Right.
But
Wow.
that was the goal. One of the goals for me, and to
Wow.
be able to do that and execute that in an educational space,
Yeah.
for me was gratifying.
Did
That's
you, have
where
a,
it was.
did you have an amazing relationship with your father?
Absolutely not.
and that's what we talked about on his first interview.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But you wanted to be a dad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the research, and I hate to be the egghead.
Yeah, no.
You can bring me in.
Yeah.
But the research that came out of the doctoral studies that I did was that most of the men in the study wanted to be what they didn't see. And that's the narrative now. The narrative is the millennial group is the largest population of young dads to hang with their children since the 1950s. Back in the 50s, dad was coming home and, it was a whole work day and everybody met him in the driveway. And then something got lost along the way. Of course, even people of color experience a lot of other atrocities. But now there is a shifting in the statistics that dads are hanging with their children. They are fathering to the best of their ability, and all these resources are not by happenstance. I do believe Providence is playing a part here in this conversation and dialogue right now. Your role as a principal has made a major difference because everybody remembers the principal.
They do.
Everybody remembers their principal, their
Sure.
coach, and you did some coaching. All those things, those make a difference. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and just like you said, even with the dads that had kids in the schools, right? I was an inspiration to them as well. We would have conversations off to the side about their role in their kids' lives, whether it was strong or it was weak. But there was a space for them to have conversation dialogue with me being in that position. So we talk about fatherhood, we talk about fatherlessness.
Yeah.
It just circumvents everything that I do in my life.
Sure.
It just surrounds me, man.
Yeah, I think that's the next one thing.
Yeah.
You entered this dialogue as well. Go ahead and
Right.
share.
Well,
I got the
I'm just
tissue right
reflecting.
here.
I know. I'm just reflecting back on last year's symposium and how, we had panel discussions. I'm thinking about leaders on that panel, Dr. Shaq Anthony, right?
Yeah.
Telling
He's
his
participating again this year.
fantastic,
good.
right?
I'm so
and
excited about that.
others, right?
We call it
Clarkston,
Mr. Corwell Health now.
right? I know. Clarkston Morgan
Yes.
and Aaron Lauchié. And I mean, it was just, it was really powerful to have them just reflect on their own experiences of having a father or not having an
even
engaged father.
Dr. Jeff Vanderbilt.
And Dr. Jeff Vandermolen, not an African American father, but a father
With
who
experience.
is with experience and has connection and is an ally. I think one of the things, just tagging into Dr. Jason's story, what brings me back to this table is really a desire to continue to uplift the story of Black men and Black fathers. And one of the things that I just stumbled into a couple of years ago was this documentary movie, Black Man. And one of the things that I love about the documentary is that it's very different kinds of Black men. And one of the things that for me, Dr. Jason, was my experience as a young man growing up also with my father not engaged in my life is that I did not have him as a father engaged in my life, but I was fathered by different people.
Community.
By community, right? So teachers, principals, coaches, pastors, mentors, even some of my siblings and cousins.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
At a level. And so what I love about the Black Man documentary is that, first of all, Black men are not monolithic. We are very, very different, right, in terms of our journey, et cetera. But it really provides this opening that provides storytelling and platform and Black men the opportunity to share transparently the impact on their soul.
Yeah. I think that's what got me the most was the no holds barred emotional. It was a release for many of the men. And you can talk a little bit about the film and the making of the film, its origin, but also those highlighted moments where grown men broke down and cried. I mean, to express their healing, the journey itself, or maybe even some of their hurts.
Right.
Feel free to talk about it. That was a great setup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first, thank you. And I know both of you have seen it, but it still amazes me that people feel the way that they feel about it, respond to it the way that they do. It amazes me when people sit in the audience and cry who are watching the film. Happens in most screenings or after most screenings. It happened in the most recent screening that the three of us were at. So as it relates to how it came to be, just a real quick story. I was hired to do a brief loop of a film, a brief loop video loop for a project at the Muskegon Museum of Art. And a couple of subjects in, I said, this is a documentary. So even I was like shocked at the responses that I was getting, and I'm the one sitting there, and I'm just like, whoa, I didn't, whoa, and I realized that if I just listened, they would go through a door, and I just had to follow them. They go down the hallway, I just follow them, and so I too am really just shocked and in awe, surprised at the response that people get and the way that the men responded. I was surprised by it, and so it's been one of the most rewarding projects that I've ever been a part of. I feel like I was chosen by God to
Well, like
to
I said,
share
it's
this.
all providence. I think
Yeah.
even the connection of us coming together. I've also talked with Julian Newman, who has a project that he's working on relating to fathers and fatherlessness. And then, of course, Cole Williams, Sean Hart, all of these men, we're all landing on a subject with various perspectives, but very, very similar idea and thought. The idea and thought is let's heal, let's reveal, and let's empower, let's discuss, let's have the conversation that
And
nobody
the
wanted to talk
time is
about.
now.
Yeah.
Like this is the time. Like this
sure.
all feels like this is where we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
This is needed. And I think sometimes when you're working on a project, you're not conscious of the fact that, oh wow, this changes lives or this is needed. You're just working on the project and you're trying to do the
got
best
your head
that
down,
you can.
just doing what you.
Right.
Yep, but this is needed. And when you talk about all those brothers that you just mentioned, I just feel something and how necessary it is as it relates to society and where we are now. And that's another show, perhaps.
Oh, absolutely.
But the time is now. And you're talking about very powerful storytellers.
We're at an apex right now of generational shift.
Absolutely.
Right now, 5 generations exist in workplaces, in churches, in school spaces, in community, and all 5 of those generations have a voice. They have something to say. A common thread would be, what were our pains? What were our nuances of struggle? Well, a lot of it for the African American community was fathers and fatherlessness, and the media did a wonderful job of painting this negative picture of black men and fatherhood. But then we did some damage to ourselves, right? We did some damage to ourselves in our absence or absenteeism, but then also in not getting the help that we needed. During the symposium, we're going to have some people there from the counseling field, some people to talk, and some
Good
people
idea.
to be
good
present
idea.
and available for follow-up. And for discussion. It's not, a sad occasion, it's a happy event. But it also ignites faith. Father's faith and freedom, those 3 things came to me, and they brought a sense of alertness, awareness, and vibrancy to the answers, to society, the answers to society.
I just want to affirm, Jon, again, I want to affirm that you were, let's say, obedient to this idea or this concept of creating the documentary, and then you were this conduit door, right? And because I think the documentary is really powerful. I also want to just tag back to what you talked about, Dr. T, in terms of the research, because yes, we do have a reality around how black fathers have not been engaged, but there's also this interesting insights in terms of actually, to date, in terms of fathers in the country of all ethnic or racial groups, black fathers are the most engaged. I repeat.
That's right.
Black fathers are the most engaged in their children's lives, including Joshua Harris and Burnell Amos, right? These guys behind the scenes, right?
They're new dads.
I know. New dads who are deeply engaged in their kids' life. You can't even get a social media post without their babies on the post.
Which makes me feel good. And it's not even Black History Month, right?
Exactly. So I just want to just elevate and just, again, affirm you in following that. And what has it been, 7 years now since
I started? Yeah.
7 years since
The
you
film was
started?
only aired
It's
once
been
here.
8 versions.
Really? 8?
Yeah, it's been 8 versions of the film. And so if you've not seen the film, in a year or two, I just tweaked some things. October of 2025 before the NAACP Image Award screened it.
Sure. So we saw the
LA.
latest. We saw the latest version of it.
Yes.
At the Grand Rapids African American Museum and
That's the one that we are
Archives.
screening for
Yes.
the symposium.
That's the finished version. It's done.
Sure.
So over the years, I've changed some things and added some people, and wasn't just fully satisfied with it. It was okay, but now I'm fully satisfied with it. Do I still see things that maybe I should, but 7 years I think is enough.
In your
It's time to
profession,
keep
though,
moving.
you also have that eye for constantly tweaking and improving. In media, I would say, I don't like to use the term entertainment out of context because it's edutainment, if anything. It's educating and it's reaching and it's resourceful. We could talk a little bit also about something you got coming up.
Yeah, man.
Real quick, hit that. because
West Michigan tonight, every Friday night, 11:35 on WZZM 13 plus.
I'm excited.
It's a late night talk show centered around West Michigan. That's it.
Yeah.
And
that's every walk of life. That's everybody.
That's everybody.
Yeah.
And we've got a house band, just like late night talk shows.
Okay.
Right? We got a house band, and we've got a bow tie chef who is our
Bow tie chef.
who
Chef
sits to my
Magnanimous.
right.
Dr. Jason McGhee.
He's our boss, so you'll see
I'm
him.
getting hungry just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
listen.
you'll see him a couple of times a month on the show,
Awesome.
and we're excited. We've got some trivia. Who knows West Michigan best?
Yeah.
and we've got what celebrity made the West Michigan roll call. So everything's centered around West Michigan. But we
Nice.
got some fun stuff, and we've got WMT on the streets. And so we go out into the community,
Okay.
and it's crazy.
I am sure.
I'm excited.
crazy.
I'm excited, but you
Yeah.
know what? So yes, this is for all of West Michigan. It's going to be so fun. I mean, it's so engaging, right? Tens of thousands of people are going to be tuning in and wanting to get into that live audience. And I want to affirm that it was a black man and a black father who created this vision. And so, and furthermore, I'm coming back. I don't know why I'm hitting you with affirmations today, but
I receive all of them too.
but you know, Jon Covington, you all is a father in this community.
Oh,
I mean, and it stretches across West Michigan, right? I mean, there's certain men that, you know, you call their names, and I mean, he's assembling black men to read to students in Grand Rapids Public Schools, right? At MLK Academy, black men read. I'm like, man.
This is a good spot to drop in Jerry, because
Jerry
Bishop.
Pastor Jerry Bishop,
In
I'm
fact,
telling y'all.
he's hosting the symposium at LifeQuest.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, right on
See?
Fifth Street.
JB.
Yeah.
I've known Jerry Bishop since way before the beginning of time. I've
Really?
known
Back in
him
the day?
forever. Back in the day. Yeah,
Wow.
Back Racks Clothing.
Yes.
Back
What?
Racks Clothing. He used to keep us clean.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's still dressing like that.
That's back in the day.
I saw
That's
him
back in
earlier
the
today.
day.
Solid brand.
Back
I'm
in the
going to
day.
send a shout out to him. We're going to take
Yeah.
a break in just a minute, but he's actually hosting at that site. There is an episode of the Growth Exchange podcast with just me and him talking, and we would have had him squeeze in here today, but we got our schedules mixed up. I'm excited about what's ahead. I know that there's
I
some
feel
things,
it, man. I feel it.
There's some things that we can
I
talk
feel it.
about right after the break. One of the things I want to bring up is the 12 Truths of Fatherhood. It's the Father's Faith and Freedom. It's a little handbook with some devotionals, as well as some compelling conversation starters with fathers and their children.
That's
So
fantastic.
we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll be back in just a moment. We're going to pause for a break. If you're interested in sponsorship or being a partnering sponsor for the Growth Exchange podcast, hey, follow through with the information that you see on the screen. We'll be right back.
Listen, if you thought last year was a hit, this year, 2026, June 20th, right here in Grand Rapids, the symposium is happening again. Listen, it's going to be phenomenal. And guess what? We got a treat. The day before, we are seeing the Black Man film documentary. You don't want to miss it. My name is Dr. Jason McGhee. I was there last year. I'll be here this year with father groups all over the city. If you are a father, if you are a son, if you are a man, this is the way to spend Father's Day. We're going to be talking about our fathers, our faith, and our freedom, June 20th, right here in Grand Rapids. I'll see you there.
Hey, welcome back. We were on a brief break, and I'm excited to continue the dialogue. The conversation has gotten passionate. Of course, it's purposeful, but I also want to talk more about the impact of what we all share in common, and that is an interest in empowering men and boys to work through the issues relating to fatherlessness or the impact on their self-efficacy. We had a chance to hear a little bit about West Michigan tonight that's coming up, and it's going to be airing on TV 13, WZZM, is that correct?
Yep, 13 plus.
13 plus, and then Chef Magnanimous is going to be there doing some wonderful things. But we're also sharing a platform at the F3 Symposium on the 20th of June. That is the Saturday before Father's Day. And it's free, no charge. Registration is required, and you get more information about it by following our social media platforms. Specifically, the Growth Exchange podcast is there, and the Growth Center, and a couple of other places. But Ashanti, can you take the lead in this part of the conversation? Because you're so deep. He's like a bishop almost, of the conversation.
Don't say that.
Well, you were making declarations and proclamations. Well, I don't mean it in a religious. I don't mean it in a religious sense.
He be trying to slide in that prophetic on you.
Hey, what do you do?
Okay,
I do what I do for the kingdom, right? I do what I can for the kingdom. How about that?
Well, again, I'm really excited about F3 this year, 2026, a Saturday before Father's Day. The opportunity to convene men again, hopefully 70 to 100 men show at LifeQuest.
Yeah.
Again, shout out to Pastor Jerry Bishop, another community father, alongside these men here around. I want to also just shout out a couple of organizations of men that,
Yes.
right,
Yes.
like
Yes.
Will Braylock and Every Kid Deserves a Dope Father.
Yeah.
All Things Fatherhood, Clay Roberts, Andre Dandridge, and the work he's doing with new fathers. I mean, there's just so many. Bo Torres, who works with Strong Beginnings.
That's Kent County, isn't it?
Yeah, all across the county and within the context of Corewell Health. And all the work that these men are doing to really engage, empower, and walk alongside fathers. You know, the thing that I wanted to kind of pull the thread on is, you know, whenever you talk about Black people in the United States of America, we cannot divorce ourselves from our faith.
Absolutely.
97% of Black people are people of faith. Now, not all Christian faith, but I mean, almost
They believe
all of
in
us
some
are
higher-
people of faith. And so,
It's part of our epigenetics.
yeah, and so I think just in the times, and you know, sometimes with you know, some of the credibility issues around faith, as it sometimes, unfortunately, is compromised alongside political beliefs, etc. I think one of the things that we all share in common is this faith that has been able to really anchor us and help us make it through this journey of fatherlessness in our communities and in our families. And so
I talked to a young man. By the way, I've talked to young men that each and every one of you all have influenced in a positive way. They somehow got it orchestrated to where, you know, they mentioned your name and said you were a positive influence in their life. Your name. A couple of young men have come as a result of just the symposium, but then also having worked with you. And your name has been iconic both in the Muskegon area, and I know folk from the Muskegon area, and here in Grand Rapids. And I'm not saying that just to stroke you all. I'm saying that to say how important it is for us to take ownership of what you shared.
right.
Yeah, we're men of faith. That's unapologetic. Not only are we men of faith, but we're also men who are practicing what it is that we live. We live what it is that we're preaching and
Well,
talking about.
we try.
Yeah, we try
Yeah.
to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
once you
I don't
produce
think
the kids, you raise
I don't
the
think
kids.
I do as well as the three of you. But
No, I think we all have challenges.
try.
We're all human, right?
Yeah,
We
sure.
all have challenges.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I chose, even on this platform, not to make it a churchy church platform, because it's evident, you know, that we're men of faith, that we stand firm on the biblical principles and the values associated with being godly men, you know, loving our wives, loving and raising our children, and now for some of us, grandchildren, a whole lot of
Nothing
them.
like it
You know,
either.
a whole,
sure.
and it makes a difference. It makes a difference. What would you say pride yourself in, this might be the wrong word, but what would you say that you herald as the most outstanding characteristic or trait of your mentorship, your role modeling? What stands out most? What are you trying to project to these people that you are influencing?
You mean the young men or the men in my life? I
It
think
might even be young ladies, because you know some look at you as a father figure and all that.
Yeah, I think what they would say if you ask them, well, what does Ashanti contribute to your life? I think what they would all say is they feel that they can be completely themselves with me. So transparency and
That was
trust.
my word.
That's
That's
the
my
buzzword.
word. That's my word.
Transparency and trust. I think something about how I'm wired brings that about, right? When I engage with men.
No, but you're so shy and quiet.
And
I
they
don't know why you
just
think so.
right. I mean, it just comes out. Man, I never shared this with anybody before.
Exactly.
I hear that all the time. I never shared this with anybody before. And I'm not necessarily. I mean, I'm a clinically trained social worker,
Yes,
but
yes.
I'm just being myself in authentic relationship with men because I love people.
Sure.
And I believe that God put me on the earth to love people. And I had this upbringing where I didn't have everything that I needed, right? And so it leaves an imprint on your soul. But, you know, you and I talked about this before, too, and this is faith talk for y'all listeners.
Yeah. Was it on live? It was, you talking about on, when we did the interview?
This was on
Because they
one
can
of
go
the-
back and check out the older episodes as well with both of you guys.
Yeah, and I think David said this. He said it was good that I was afflicted,
Yeah.
that I might know thy statutes.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Like for me, it was like, you know, Dr. Jason McGhee, you know, thinking back to my childhood in Detroit, Michigan, growing up with a single
Shout
mom.
out to Detroit.
Yeah, like it was just like now in thinking back over the arc of my story's life, I recognize that, you know, if my father were in my life, well, who would I be today? There are right? Like I have sensitivities and I have things about me now as a man and as a father of three, 2 daughters and a son, with my wife of almost 25 years.
Yeah.
That that I wouldn't have if I had that. And so you know, the level of emotional intelligence, the ability to tune in on things, my son is 10 years old. You gonna get kisses from me until you punch me.
Right.
Because that's my baby, right? And that's our youngest.
Yeah.
And so I think
But
that
that's
it was a
affirmation
good
to the
thing,
fullest.
Dr. T.
Well, I was talking to Shaq. His episode is going to air after this one.
Yeah.
I interviewed him the other day, and we were talking about his fatherlessness journey. His dad passing when he was 5 years old, and then his stepdad passing shortly after that, or after that as well. And he said he asked himself the question, you know, how would it be any different if they were present in his life? And everything that he had experienced in his life, he shared, was enhanced or enriched by the fact that God was there and that God supplied what was needed. And I'm just paraphrasing. You have to watch the episode. I'm paraphrasing his experience in that while most people look at all of the doom and destruction and gloom of the absence, there's also a nuance about survival. We rise to the occasion to survive.
Yeah.
I probably would not have been, you know, a doctoral candidate and made it through with it if I didn't have the grit of growing up as a homeless kid in Detroit, you know, or having abstract poverty so overwhelmingly consuming our lives to where I had to father my younger sisters. I had to actually provide, you know, that direction as being a provider, a priest, and a protector for my family. That was based on experience. That God had to order our steps through it. I don't think He inflicts us intentionally to destroy us. But I always say this, you know, God never brings you this far just to bring you this far. You know, you obviously have a story or you have something to tell. What is the most influencing factor that you would identify, Dr. Jason?
You know, it's funny because it's very similar. But the word
Transparency
I would use
as well.
is authenticity.
He stole your other word, man.
Being authentic, being me. But you know what? I always showed up as my absolute self, and that I'm not perfect. It didn't matter the role
That's
that I
it
was
right
in.
there.
It didn't matter what type of influence I had, because I told you these kids, and when I was in the schools, they looked at me like they put me on a pedestal.
Yeah, and you were
I'm
principal
like,
as well.
Exactly.
I'm not all that. I don't have it all figured out.
Yeah, that's
You
what I
got-
tell them all the time.
Yeah, you got your master's degree, you got your doctorate degree. I know, but I'm still figuring this thing out. I'm not the smartest guy in the room just because I have my
Right,
doctorate degree.
right,
I'm
right.
still working on me. So when I bring that to the table, they listen. They let their barriers down. They let their guards down, and we can now exchange in dialogue that they probably wouldn't have with other educators in the building.
Yeah, I think being real is what you're saying. You just have to be real with people.
And I think one word that you didn't use, and I've not heard you use it, but I think if other people were to describe you, or if kids were able to articulate it, I would say a sense of humility. And humility is so powerful. And when kids are around it, other adults are around it, it's just something that I think they feel in your presence. And so when they talk about you having a master's and dual degrees, et cetera, and what they're saying is you're so humble because you're this and you're that, and like you relate to us and we can relate to you and we can communicate with you. So I think humility is really one of the biggest keys to having influence, healthy influence.
Oh, absolutely. It's the
over
key
people.
of what is the key that God honors, and He exalts you. You know, the humble He exalts. You know, the proud He makes a base.
I love what you did in the documentary when you were interviewing these black men.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't. It was something about your questions. I don't know. Maybe it was your questions.
And he was off camera. That's the
I
thing.
know.
Whatever that formula was, it worked.
Right.
It was intentional.
And you have
Very
these,
intentional.
again, black men, black people. We are not monolithic. So very different kinds of black men.
Yeah.
I mean, an influential black pastor in Muskegon Heights, right?
Well, he's actually
Around the
global.
country.
I mean, right,
They're around the
globally.
world.
Yeah, globally.
Right,
Yeah,
I mean,
globally.
right,
Yeah.
like Bishop Wells. Y'all know Bishop. Some of you know
Late
Bishop
great
Wells.
Dr. Bishop
And then multiracial black men, black men who are executives, black men in the military. Black, I mean,
He's the
so-
blue collar and no collar.
Yeah,
Blue collar,
right.
white collar, no collar.
I
Not even no
really,
collar.
I really
Chris.
appreciated how your style, your approach, your Jon Covington-ness, like,
That's a word.
Now,
right,
we're gonna
like,
coin that
That's a
one.
word.
right,
That's a word.
how it just kind
Sounds
of
like a
entered,
cologne, man.
it entered the space of that documentary, and those very different kind of men just opened up the door. And so therefore, then those of us who are watching, I mean, you're impacted by it. Like you feel like those men are in the room.
Yeah, they're literally in your face. Like I
Yeah.
kept everything very minimalistic, so that you can't turn away.
Right.
like they're right here.
Right.
and you can see every pimple.
Yeah.
You can see
very raw, but it was
the
very
eyes welling up. You see it all.
Exactly.
Yeah. You see it all,
Exactly.
and you can feel it.
One of the things that stood out to me was their voices and the projection of their emotion was clear. Yeah. You know, when they dropped to their low register, or when they were high and excited in the register, that stood out. And we're really pushing, or this you got to see the film. We're going to show the film during the symposium. We're going to show
wait.
it that Friday night.
Yes,
We're going to
sir.
show it Friday night. There's talk about a theater, so we can
Yeah,
make it
can't
available
wait.
to more people. We got to
haven't
confirm
seen
that,
some.
Yeah.
but we will be showing it. You know, even if I have to show it on a big screen in the parking lot, we're going to show it. But we're going to show the film,
be
and
there. We'll be
then our
there.
dialogue and our conversation in the workshops or the breakouts will be centered around these things that we've been talking about. So people who've tuned in today will get the full gamut of this. They'll get an opportunity to walk through some of the 12 truths of fatherhood. And it's really about breaking the generational cycles, and it's to help build legacies that are rooted in integrity and rooted in hope. You all exhibit
I'm
that.
excited, brother.
Honored,
I'm excited.
honored.
I'm
Me too.
excited.
It's gonna
I'm
be
honored,
good.
seriously,
Yeah, I'm
to just
excited.
know you guys. We say
Yeah.
that oftentimes and just stroking each other and giving each other the accolades. But I'm privileged to have so many good key people so close that I can say, hey, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this.
And, you know, personally, I think it's brothers that have really helped keep me. I certainly haven't been within the confines of the road, but have kept me more so in the confines of the road. You know, when you got brothers like
Iron sharpens
you,
iron. That's what it says.
like that's what
Bible says
empowers
that,
me. I think that's what empowers us, right? When I know I can pick up the phone, or I can shoot you a text at 11:30 and you're gonna respond right
Yeah.
away, or whatever the case may be. Like we're better because of each other.
Yeah.
And I think young people, I want every single person who can to come to this symposium. You will leave changed.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah.
I know it. I know it without a doubt. And so we want to reach as many people as possible.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And we're going to be there hanging out.
Yeah. Talking, sharing some resources.
You know, it's less than 2% of kids see a black male in the classroom, less than 2% from grades K
yeah.
through 12.
Oh, yeah.
1.6.
Yeah, these-
1.6.
1.6.
From grades K through 12. That's even in a city like Detroit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
a
that's
city
because-
like
that's
Washington,
because-
D.C.
Yeah.
Or a city like Atlanta.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right?
And so this is powerful and this is necessary. And if we're going to be better,
Yeah.
we're better if they're better.
And it's making the generations to come better. We've got these last 3 minutes that I'd love for you all to just kind of capstone your thought. What would you like to say to the potential audiences of not just the symposium, but our lives? Every day we step out of the door, they're looking, somebody's watching, somebody's checking you out. I love how you mentioned the fact, we're still growing, we're developing, and we're not perfect. I often say I'm striving toward perfection, which means that I've not accepted the imperfection. I've acknowledged it and I'm moving toward it because it just simply means maturity. Yeah. And the older you get, the more mature you are. You know now what you never knew before. And so let's close with those thoughts. I think we'll start this way since we started before. Just closing thoughts. Anything you'd like to share? Just a quick 20, 30 seconds.
Yeah, just as we go into this focus on fathers and fatherhood and freedom and faith, I also want to lift up focusing on yourself. Just stopping, slowing down, and start looking internally and saying, hey, what do I need? What do I want? Where am I going? Who am I? What is my purpose? Especially if you are a father. So be a little bit selfish. Be a little bit selfish.
I love it. Great. How about you, sir?
Excuse me. I think we're out of time. I think the show ended.
No, we still got time.
Oh, okay.
We got time.
I saw 46 seconds like
I know.
a minute and a half ago.
But you
and I
know.
was just like, I'm sorry. I know that won't be in the show. Come back to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the thing that I want to make sure we say is that black men, you can safely acknowledge that you need to heal and that you have wounds. Because, Dr. J. Barnett, Sam Jones, right? I mean, there's so many black men who are now in the field of counseling or therapists or social workers, right? Who are normalizing the reality that we, in the context of this country and even other countries, we all carry trauma. And some of the trauma is from not having, the people in your life in those really pivotal stages of your development. So I just want to say, one of the powerful things about your research is that you begin to open that door. The Black Man documentary certainly opens that up. Dr. Jason McGhee, I mean, just from your leadership in schools, et cetera, that, you get into a room, you start sharing, and then things start unlocking for people. So I just want to say, I'm coming to the symposium this year thinking about the men who are going to come in potentially with some wounds.
Okay.
And that, and I want to normalize for them when they see Ashanti Bryant, 6'4", shirt and tie, works for the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, and think whatever they think about me. No, I'm actually a little boy who is on the journey of trying to be a good black father in my own family. And I still am working on healing some of the wounds that I have had in my life from my decades now on the planet. So that's what I wanted to enter into the space.
That's awesome. Thank you for
They're
sharing
coming,
that.
and they're coming.
Yeah.
I would just say, I love you. We love you. We are more like you than you think we are. We're all in this journey together. We're all trying to figure it out. Let's figure it out together. You are trying to figure it out until you take your last breath or until you're incapacitated. Right?
Very well.
We're on a journey.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would say, and that's why I think you should be there.
Thank you all so much. This conversation has just been enriching, fulfilling. I'm bursting with the joy of, like I said, iron sharpening iron. That's scripture, and it speaks specifically to brothers making each other better. I think that the day of the symposium, we're going to have the opportunity to see some new things birthed. We'll get a chance to celebrate some things that are already existing, the resources. I'm calling for those who have resources and information that want to be a part of the symposium to come and let's do this thing together. It's going to be held at the LifeQuest campus on Fisk Street here in the Grand Rapids. More information will be on the screen, but we're going to have some dynamic dialogue. So until the next time that we come together, I want to say thank you for tuning in to the Growth Exchange podcast. I'm Dr. Tarence Lauchié, and as always, I say to you, let's grow.
All right, Ashanti Bryant here, friend of the Growth Podcast, inviting you to be in the room for F3 Symposium 2026, happening Saturday, June the 20th, starts at 9:30 a.m., and you do not want to miss it, brothers. Be in the room and join us.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Growth Exchange. I'm Dr. Tarence Lauchié. It's been a pleasure to have these conversations and dialogues with our guests. If you notice, one thing we all share in common, and that is the ability, the desire, and the potential to grow and maximize our fullest potential. So keep tuning in. Share this with somebody, like it, maybe even invite somebody. And if you'd like to be a guest, contact us with the information that's here and available for you. Let's grow.